But during her illness, during her treatment, she wrote some blogs and started some campaigns around cancer. One of her articles that I'll be referring to was written in 2015, almost the same time when my father also got diagnosed with the same disease. This is what she wrote, and I'll prefer reading it out verbatim. She lost her brave fight. If anyone mutters those words after my death, wherever I am, I will curse them. I cannot see anything brave about how I live my life, because bravery implies a choice, and I did not choose cancer. In fact, in my world, it is not a fight at all. It is a symbiosis, where I and cancer are forced to live with each other day in, day out. Some days, cancer has the upper hand, and other days, I have. I'm sure we all know and have heard of a lot of people in similar situations and conditions. A serious illness like cancer does not only have a devastating experience for the patient, but also for the survivors and the caregivers. But does that mean that we give in to it and we just give up? Certainly not. There is enough and more that should and that can be done towards prevention, treatment, and early preparedness of cancer. On that note, it's
when I joined the insurance industry way back in 1996, very few people actually talked about health insurance, and many actually said health insurance is life insurance. But thanks to all of you, we have come a long way since then, and I think today the Indian public, a big chunk of our population, is aware of the issues related to health care, and a percentage of them are also understood or beginning to understand the need and the importance of a tool called health insurance. Earlier, investments were made in fixed deposits, bank deposits, then it went into fixed deposits with companies, and then came mutual funds, and then came for a number of tax saving devices. You had things like life insurance and ULIPs, etc. But I would say it is over the last 10 to 15 years where health insurance has started coming in the list of things which an individual or families actually need. And the reason is that every individual on this planet, I could say, if there is one thing which will hit them at some point of time, is a health issue. I don't believe there can be anybody who can say that I will not need healthcare in my life. There is, in my opinion, no other product or service which is like this. Linked to it is the financing too. I'll come to that in a few minutes. But whilst all of this was happening in terms of the awareness of healthcare, and I think one of the best things which has happened simultaneous to the awareness is the growth and the quality of healthcare facilities in India. Today, I think we can be proud that Indian healthcare facilities, particularly in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities, offer healthcare facilities which are second to none. Research-based medical equipment and treatment, as soon as they're released in places where they innovated, be it in the United States or be it in Japan and other two extremes in terms of the geography, is very quickly brought into this country. Our own group, the Apollo Hospital Group, from a small beginning in the early 80s, is around the country and have continuously invested into medical equipment. doesn't end on the day it's diagnosed. We will also support it, with family care, which means supporting the expenses of the family members. We will also design the product in a way that it also takes care of the outpatient expenses. For example, when I talked about my mother, she survived. It was not the first initial diagnosis and treatment. She had to have medicines and regular treatment over 5 to 6 years.
Will you please able to tell us what are the new things you are doing, sir?
Yeah. So in terms of this,
already know about the cancer.
so in terms of this product, the differentiators will be, as I said, the payment for the treatment, the payment for ongoing expenses. There are different variants, and we will share that in a few minutes. But what we said is 2 different parts. One is the financial aspect, and when it happens. The second part is when, in terms of the support which is required for ongoing. So this is a continuous plan. It does not stop. And thirdly is, we said it needs to have some amount of money and financial burden taken off out of the immediate family, particularly in terms of family members' education, etc. So we will just share with you exactly how it works in a few moments. But what I wanted to do at this stage is just take you through some aspects through an audio visual, which I'm going to play, and post that audio visual, I'm going to tell you how we're going to actually market some of this through our digital technology. Can we have the audio visual, please?
Many of us would have heard of stories of people who were born with cancer, families where you would have known somebody got diagnosed with cancer, and what they went through. Some of us, especially me, very closely knew Suresh and Sailaja, and I'll walk you through their story, having seen it very closely. This story went on to describe to me the other side of cancer, which is the patient suffers the disease and family suffers consequences. Their daughter was the city. The father would have been extremely proud when she passed out. But once in 2016, he got diagnosed with a very severe form of cancer. At that time, he faced this dilemma: should I pursue my treatment, which is really going to cost quite a substantial amount, future finances, my daughter's education, marriage and life. So I faced with the dilemma: what do I do? Should I pursue my daughter to get educated in the US or get her back here in India? Should I quit my job, tender for my husband who is now going to fight against this? The daughter, of course, had her own dilemma. Can I be studying in the US, pursuing my master's degree, but my dad is fighting alone there? When I reflect back, I had been very fairly well versed with the medical side of the disease, having worked in. When you see patients and when you see the diagnosis, the fight against cancer, but I was not exposed as much by then to the family's fight. And when we got thinking, could the story have been different? And as I said, we thought about what can we do, not just to help the patient who is the fighter, suffers eventually. And that's where we came up with this plan, iCan. It supports going through empowering treatment choices, including modern treatment choices, protects the family's finances through the journey of treatment, going beyond it to follow, and even stands by the family when the cancer is no more curable or should there be a recurrence of already cured cancer. As you know, cancer tends to recur many years after. During the course If you are familiar with a process where there is a second opinion, people want to be sure that it is the correct cancer. Is it cancer or not at the first stage? And there are a lot of things that are happening around that. So this covers medical expenses that is incurred for the diagnosis of cancer. Host of tests that happens, biopsy, PET scan, CT, MRI, blood markers, and provides a second opinion from a panel of eminent doctors through us. Also leveraging on technology. Today there are very sophisticated technology systems are available for cognitive systems like you might have heard of IBM Watson. This pays for a second opinion even from cognitive oncology systems.
This premium will move at this point of time from 2,500, it will move to about 10,000.
Now, suppose you will do insurance on 35 years of age.
Yeah.
Till the age of 50.
Depending on what stage the cancer is, if it is, you want to say there are two stages, one you will get 60% and one you will get 100%.
This plan does not even wait for the death of the individual. Unfortunately, if the person lands up in stage 4, which is not curable thereafter, usually 100% of the family care benefit, which is the sum assured, is paid. Or should there be a recurrence, even after cure for 12, 13 months, 3 years, 5 years, even after that, if there is a recurrence, 100% of the family care benefit is payable.
This is over and above. End of story. And this is the product, but when it comes, you can use it for your treatment during the year. You will get the 60% or the 100% depending on which stage it is. At renewal time, you will pay the renewal premium and you will get a fresh 50 lakh cover for the following year.
So, how do you calculate for the medical?